New York is the city that never sleeps, and neither does Sal Licata. From Flushing in the Bronx to the Meadowlands in MSG, Sal sounds off on the biggest sports news of the day. Welcome to WFAN Daily with Sal Licata.
Hi, podcast time again. As we're going to try to do this at least twice a week moving forward, some bonus editions and all that stuff. We did one on Sunday into Monday morning, so we're having some fun again doing these podcasts here. I wanted to hop on to this one real quick and just try to think this out of my own head with you listening and me just talking and also listening to myself. I don't get the need, and look, for MLB Network, it's great to have the rankings that come out, but I don't get the need for fans to go nuts over these stupid, mindless rankings. Let me give you an example. Harold Reynolds was on with BT and I the other day, right? Harold Reynolds, of course, works for MLB Network. And Harold was telling us that basically he thinks the Mets lineup needs more. And then today, the MLB rankings come out, and you have Francisco Lindor, I think it was number 6, and Juan Soto number 4. 2 Mets in the top 6. And yet people are saying they need more. Now, they're not a perfect team, obviously, but sometimes I think people just complain just to complain and then overreact to react to things like, oh, the lineup rankings. Who cares really what ranking systems are? Like, each individual, you, the listener or viewer, should be able to figure out what you think is the best ranking. I have my opinion. BT has his. Hoff has it. Whatever. And that's that. We could talk about it and have fun with it, but their rankings, whoever it may be, MLB or CBS or whatever, Odyssey ranking, doesn't mean anything. And do you really need a ranking system to tell you or tell us how good Juan Soto is? The other thing that I thought about was, not only is Juan Soto number 4, but where was Pete Alonso on that list? But yet the excitement from the Met fans, it seemed, was greater with Pete Alonso coming back almost than it was with Juan Soto, which I just don't understand. And there are sometimes people that call the station saying that Juan Soto or Pete Alonso is as good as Juan Soto or as impactful. I actually think at this point, Met fans are going to be in for quite the surprise at how bleeping good Juan Soto is. We know how great Aaron Judge is. And also, by the way, the rankings with the Yankees, Judge is number 2. Okay. I didn't even see who's number 1. I'm going to assume it's Ohtani. How is Ohtani better than Judge? I don't understand it. He's not even pitching again. He's hurt. He's not going to pitch until what? Maybe May? And Judge is just better. End of story. Judge is better. I'm not trying to minimize Ohtani, but Aaron Judge is the best player all around, plays the field, obviously takes his at-bats, breaks the records. Judge is better than Ohtani. So these rankings to me don't really mean that much. But anyway, back to Soto. Did you need the rankings to tell you how good Juan Soto is? I do feel like Met fans are – I think a lot of Met fans probably didn't watch Juan Soto as closely as those of us who paid attention to the Yankees on a nightly basis did. And not even that. Before Juan Soto ever set foot in Yankee Stadium as a member of the Yankees, the guy was a beast. Maybe that's Mets fans' most memories of him when he was tormenting the Mets with the Nationals, but – I think people are sleeping on Juan Soto. I really do. And, he's not worth this money. I've had this conversation with BT. Not worth that money. The Yankees are going to be better off without him. Okay. We'll see. There was a reason multiple teams were willing to give Juan Soto $760 million or whatever, the other teams we got. I know the Mets gave him $765. The Yankees were at $760 or something like that. There's a reason why. Because he's a freaking beast. He's an animal, one of the best that there is in the game. I didn't need the MLB rankings, though, to tell me that. I know it. It's why I was begging for him for over a year. So I think Met fans are going to be in for quite the surprise. When you see Lindor, who's a great player, one of the best shortstops in the sport, MVP type year last year. Hard to do better than that. Ohtani wins the MVP. Okay, fine. But when you actually see Soto on a night in, night out basis and watch him, and then compare it to what Pete Alonso does, you'll realize why people like myself were begging for Soto and talking about him as a legitimate star in comparison to Pete Alonso, who's not a legitimate star. And obviously Pete's got his own work to do there, but I just feel like the ranking stuff and all that, it's unnecessary. And the reaction, fans right now in New York if you are a fan of the Yankees, if you are a fan of the Mets, I would argue that it really, for both sides together, obviously the Yankees have had great teams in the dynasty in the 90s, winning the championship in 2009 again, and they're usually loaded. Like the Yankees, the majority of the time, have been loaded. But I would argue that for both fan bases going into a season, while there are certainly things that you can complain about, you could always complain about something. This is the least complaining that we should be doing. Like, let's see what happens with the players in the season during the games. If they don't perform, then we could criticize that and complain about that, which I'm sure will happen. Who it will be, who knows, but inevitably that will happen. Right now, going in, there is no complaining to be done. The Yankees lost Soto and still went out there and had a terrific offseason. Sure, could we say that they could have done better and maybe gotten Bregman? Okay, yeah, I get it, but you're nitpicking. The Yankees are by far the best team in the American League, and they are loaded. Look at their rotation. Look at their bullpen. Even look at their lineup without Soto. I don't think it's going to be as good, but they're still loaded. Look at what the Mets did. The Mets rotation is better than it was a year ago, a year in where they went to the NLCS. Their bullpen, far better than what it was a year ago. And their lineup is so much better. Now, those guys got to produce. Alonso's got to bounce back and have a big year. Nimmo, Alvarez, Viento's got to make it stick again. But Bellinger for the Yankees, he's got to have a big year. But going in on paper, I don't know what more you could want. Enjoy it. Look, I'm all for complaining. You know that. If there was something to complain about, I'm going to do it. I'll find it. Going into this season with both these teams, loaded teams, stars all over the place, top-ranked players everywhere, enough with the complaining. Just enjoy it for a little bit going in. Have some fun. Who's got the better lineup, Mets or Yankees? Sure. But both teams are loaded. I cannot wait for this season to get going so then we can complain about the lack of performances from the star players that each team has. But until then, don't complain. Enjoy. Same thing with the Knicks. BT complaining. Guys are complaining about the Knicks. They get one of the best records in the league. They still have a chance to win a championship. What's there to complain about? God, too much complaining. All right, that does it for this brief edition of WFAN Daily. We'll be back again with another one soon. Stay tuned. We appreciate it. Bye.